Conversation, 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 conversation. Life's journey. Hey, conversation, 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 conversation. Let's talk about it.
Hello, everyone. It's Conversations with Moji, and I'm excited to have a special guest today, someone that is not in the Command community, but a dear sister, and she's going to be sharing so much with us. We have a very interesting topic. I mean, you should listen to this lady. She's 40, she's above 40, and she's not married. And that is a question many people have. I mean, how do you cope? What are your thoughts? What do you do, So we have many things along that line people are shy to talk about, but I have someone that is willing to share with us a few thoughts. So I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to us, what she does and where she lives. Hello, Sister Michelle. But I'll call you Michelle Bello, right?
Yes, Michelle Bello, it's fine. Yes.
So please, tell us what you do. Yeah.
I'm Michelle Bello. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I help people lose weight. I also retail healthy lifestyle products. I'm also a cost accountant, and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Haven't moved back from the UK. That's the story for another day.
Good. You're welcome to Conversations. I'm excited to make it. So you already mentioned that you moved from the UK. So can you tell us briefly why? I mean, everybody's running out of Nigeria. So why?
Yeah.
Why did you move from? Why did you move from the UK?
I moved from the UK, I think roughly about 10 years now. And I think I got to a stumbling block with my career, with myself. And I thought, you know what? I've just been on a linear progression and nothing going up, nothing coming down. I thought so moving to the UK would be an excitement, and probably opportunities would come out from moving to the UK. And I also wanted to lose weight. So I wanted to serve. I heard NYC would make you lose weight. So the two reasons why, okay, I look forward to new opportunities, and then if I come to Nigeria, I'll go to NYC and I'll lose so much weight. And these are the two reasons. But the main one was really, I needed a career growth. I needed to see a different side of me in Nigeria as an adult, because I moved out of Nigeria when I was about 14. So I think my growing up years would be in the UK, and I thought, there was something different about Nigeria at an older age that I could experience and I could actually gain. And so far so good. I would say no regrets at all. I really do enjoy moving back. In as much as at the moment everybody's trying to move out of Nigeria at the moment, I'm still trying to give it a second thought, saying, I think I'll still stay because there's still opportunities for me. But yeah, it's been wonderful 10 years.
Wow, interesting. So you help people lose weight. And
yes, I do.
So how did you come about? How did you get into that kind of business?
Okay, when I moved to Nigeria, I think I was 145 kgs then when I moved. After 7, I didn't lose so much weight. I think I actually gained more weight after 7. And I think 2012 was a turnaround time for me where I just decided, I needed to look different, feel different, because I started having struggle with sleeping, not feeling so great with myself. So I went on a journey, 3 months journey on a weight loss journey for 3 months, lost 45 kgs, and I've maintained that weight for about 8 years going on 9. So yeah, so I started my business helping people lose weight. When I lost weight after a year, I kept it off, and people kept asking, oh, how did you lose the weight? And a doctor friend of mine advised, do some courses and start helping people lose weight as well. So I get referrals from the hospital saying, this person is overweight, can you help them lose 10% of their body weight, this and that. So that's how I got into the business of weight loss, and it's been a great venture, and it's a tough one, having to work full time and run a side hustle as well. So it's rewarding, I would say.
Well, I think it's rewarding. So what do you do? What is your day job?
So I'm a cost management accountant, or what we say cost engineering. So I help manage costs from budgets to cost control. So that's my main job. So I graduated as an accountant, my master's in finance and investments, and I work as a cost engineer. Yeah.
Well, right there in Nigeria, in Lagos?
Right in Nigeria, in Lagos, right here in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, interesting. So tell us, as I said earlier on, I'm sure you're over 40.
Yes, I'll be 42 in November.
And the dream of every woman is to be married.
Well, technically, yes. Yes.
technically every woman wants a man who wants to be married
Yeah.
and have kids. But
Yes.
what about you? Would you say you do not want to have a woman?
Oh, no. I would love to get married. I'd love to have children. But when that hasn't come, do I sit and pull a long face? Obviously not. So I think for me, I've got all the tick boxes right on my part. So it's not like I'm a horrible person. I've done a self-evaluation of myself. And I've also asked people to do that for me as well. I've done like a 360-degree self-evaluation with my friends and family. Like, do you know what? You know me very well. Am I a marriable person? What kind of person am I? And the feedbacks are great. So I've said to myself, I didn't make myself, I didn't create myself. And I think I've ticked out all the good boxes I think that needs to be ticked out in terms of married material kind of person, so which I've done. And I felt I haven't done badly in this area, but nobody has come yet. And I'm not being picky. People say you're being picky. I'm not being picky. I think it's good to be picky. It's good to be picky because a friend of mine said when I said it's good to be picky. So you know what you want and then you go for what you want. So that's what we call being intentional these days. So but I'm honestly not extremely picky. I must say that. But so I've chose to be happy regardless of being married or not, because end of the day, people would ask you, are you educated? What do you do for a living? I think people ask, what are your achievements? And I think marriage is not really a great thing people talk about. I would like to say I'm married as an achievement, but most people don't do that with a leap of joy. They just say, oh, I went to school, I studied this, I did that, I'm a director, so and so. And then maybe after all that good CV, and the marriage comes towards the end. So I've hardly seen someone who says, oh, first of all, I'm married. I see people say, first of all, I'm a Christian, I'm a this, I'm a that, but people don't really say, first of all, I'm married. So it's a good thing, but I don't think it's a criteria for leaving. So for me, my goal is to be happy and create my own happiness. And I don't think being married or not being married will not make me happy. I think I'm just happy the way I am, and I choose to be happy. And if marriage comes along the way, I'll embrace it. But for now, it hasn't come. I'll live my full life.
Great, I like that. It's true, because sometimes we feel that thing we don't have until we have something in particular. Again, the thing we feel we don't have, our lives are not complete.
I like what you said. So my motto in life is, I don't miss what I don't have. That's what I've always lived by. So for example, now I can say to Pastor Moji, do you miss your husband? You definitely tell me yes. But if you ask me that question, I can't definitely say yes because I haven't been married before. So I always say to people that for me, I've trained myself and I've lived by the key saying, I don't miss what I don't have. So if people start to think in that line where, because really and truly, you only miss what you have. So if you haven't got something, you can't miss it. For example, I lost my mom 2 years ago. And I think I'm more empathetic to people who's lost their parents because I know how it feels. I know what it feels like. So if someone says, oh, who's the one who's got both parents is telling you, oh, sorry, I know what it feels like. Really and truly, they might not really know the depth of what it feels like until you've actually lost a parent or two. And for me, I've lost both parents. So when I find someone who's lost a parent or two, the empathy is so strong. That's why I say to people, there's a difference between empathy and being sympathetic with someone. So the empathy is really very strong. So I say to people that you don't miss what you don't have. So I don't miss not having a husband. I might miss being in a relationship because some people have been through relationships. I may miss that, but in terms of the fact that I miss what the thing called a husband, I can't say that because I haven't married before.
Thank you so much. Looking back, sometimes, you said something like people say maybe you're picky.
Yeah.
Would you do that would you say people have come and you did not accept, or?
We must believe on the same truth. And I feel most people who have seen, maybe I'm interested in, or they're interested in me, we don't share the same truth. And secondly, what I also find is I'm a very selfless person, I must say. So when people come around me, I find a lot of, I like you because I want you to help me grow my business. So I'm saying to you, when I grow your business for you, what happens after that? When your business has grown, where do we find ourselves? So everybody wants something. Like someone actually said, there's always a catch to something. But it shouldn't be something it shouldn't be so obvious. I find it so obvious that it scares me that, okay, after I've helped this person build a business, what happens? Or I've helped this person do that, or this, what happens? Or I've actually use the person to benefit myself, then what happens? So that's why people say, oh, beauty will go away, the stuff will go away, but what happens to the inner heart or inner beauty? So I'm being picky in the right place where I feel we must believe in the same truth. there should not be a purpose like I want this person because she's pretty, I want this person because they're very intelligent. Those are good factors, but there should be something more concrete in wanting to have a relationship. I want us to grow together. I see that when we come together, we can do stuff together. So that union is never ever there. It's always about me, or I. So I've sort of taken my time and said, you know what? Even at now, when somebody comes and like your intentions are not pure, I'm not going to rush and go with it because I can hear I, and not the we. And then we don't share the same truth. I am of a different opinion from you. I have a different belief from you have. And like my psychologist would say that be careful with people who have a different upbringing with you, because for example, your psychologist formed at the age of primary school. And if somebody who goes to different kind of primary school from you has a very different kind of thinking from you, even if a person goes to Harvard in the long run or goes to the best university in America, the foundation of your thinking is quite different. So I look out for things like that, where how do we come in, how do we blend, even when we're upset with each other, how do we resolve issues? And I find that it's not people who have come around, a few people who have come around, we're still friends, but I still see that this not being the right person for me to have married, or if you had married, probably wouldn't have gone well as I thought as it would. And I also understand there's no perfect relationship, there's no perfect marriage, because with siblings we fight, with friends we fight. So talking more or less, if you get married to someone, you definitely have ups and downs, misunderstanding. But in terms of being picky, I would say I'm not a picky person, but I think I sort of know what I want when I see it. I think that's it.
Because you said something that we had to look at.
Yeah.
The orientation.
Yeah.
Background.
Yeah.
Because people change, but people do not really change.
Very true. Very true.
People mature. I mean, maybe this person used to be so snobbish, may not be as snobbish, but eventually there's still that thing there. This person grew, I think those things are there. People do not really change, even though we think people change. They grow up, yes, they drop a few things, but people really do not change. So, and those are things that, when I look around, there are many failed marriages. Many of us are trying to work it out. Everybody's trying to work it out. But sometimes it comes to a point where we are like, you have been trying to work it out. Everybody is good. Both male,
everybody's good. Yeah.
But it just somehow you find that we've been trying to make this work, and so it's unfortunate that that's happening. But maybe we really should look at that also, the foundation, the orientation. Yeah. So that's interesting. Yes. Then tell me, as a Christian, are you not? There are a few times people have told. I've heard people say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, just get someone to impregnate you and just have a baby if you want to have a baby." But as a Christian, is it even more difficult to stay, or do we decide that okay, you can marry anybody whether it's a Christian or not, just have it,
funny if you said that in the Western culture. I think it's more rampant in Nigeria now, where people, even Christians in the church, will advise you and say, look, if you don't find someone, just go and have a baby. Either you get someone who gets you pregnant, or you go out, like I was saying to you earlier before the program started, the sperms are not very expensive. They're readily available. In Nigeria, for example, you can get a sperm for 70,000 naira. So I think that's really very affordable. And then people are now going on to do IVF to have their own babies. I think there's more to life than that. So I feel there are options. If I really wanted a child, I could adopt a child for now. And people say, it's not like your own, it's not really your own. Then I say to people, where's the love? So it's not because you gave birth in the hospital, somebody gave you a baby and say, look, this is your child, but how do you know that child is your child? So I say to people, what do you really want? Do you want to share love, or you just want to have a baby and it becomes part of a material possession? So for me I'm not really a fan of adoption as of yet. I like to have my kids, but I'm not going to have my kids out of what I believe. Some Christians have gone out to have their kids through IVF, through buying of sperm, just living with somebody else. I'm not here to judge you. I would support you. I've got friends who've done that. I'm godmother to some children. I'll support them totally. But I think we all have what we stand for. We all have what we believe. So that our tenacity of faith is. We all have what we stand for. Like people say, in our house, we don't do certain things. So I think I personally have things I don't. I thought about it. Don't get me wrong. I thought about it. And I said, you know what? Either I want to have a child for Michelle. I want to have a child for so-and-so people. Or how do children come? And so I said in the scripture really that children are gifts from God. And the gift comes from when people meet together. I haven't met someone yet, so I just can't make that. I can obviously give myself a gift. So I actually Googled what a gift was. A gift was something you give to someone, and you don't. The Google one, I think you should help me Google it and probably put it on the transcribe. It says a gift is something you give to someone that costs you. That doesn't. I think it doesn't cost you so much. There's a thing. There's a time to the gift. I actually go there and checked it. And I said, okay, since I give something you give to someone, I can give myself a gift. But is that a right thing to do? Because people give themselves a gift of birthdays and stuff. I said, but a gift is from God. This particular gift comes from God. So do I help God to give me a gift? I don't know. For me, I felt a bit challenged by that. Someone might say, yes, I can help God give me a gift. After all, when I want to get a job, I sow a seed and I get a job. So it now depends on your faith, level of where you are with God, relationship with God. For me, I just feel if I need to have a child and it's a gift from God, I think I want to do it with somebody who I'm married to, or it might not sound so pleasant, but maybe somebody who I'm involved with in the long run, and we're there for a while, and it happens. But the fact I would go on and say I'm going to pay money to have a child, I'm not excited about it. I'm not saying yes or no, but at the moment, I'm not going to say, Pastor Moji, I think it's a good idea. It might be a good idea for someone else, but for me at the moment, it's not. It doesn't overwhelm me. And like I say to myself, I heard someone quietly say, what would you ask your 8-year-old self, and what would you ask your 80-year-old self? How would your reaction be? And I said to my 80-year-old self, how would you feel having a child at 40? And I was quite excited. And I said to my 80-year-old self, we don't have a child now, what's happening? And my 80-year-old said, like, carry on with your life, you're doing well. So I think for me, I have my coping mechanisms, and I think they work for me. And I would say what works for you might not work for you. But I say the thing about it is, whatever you believe in, or whatever you stand for, stand on that principle. What are your principles about? So stand on your principle, because if you have a principle, I think your principle will never fail. You can tweak your principle here and there. I'm not saying don't tweak them, but go with your gut principle that, do you know what, we don't do certain things, or I don't do certain things, or I can do it, but I won't do it based on this or based on that. I will do it because I want to do it as a person. So why does Michelle want to have a baby through IVF and buying a sperm? Because I feel I'm at that point where, do you know what, I think I want to share love with a child. So why don't you just adopt a child? So I play with options. So I try to think more of the consequences than the action. So for me I'm a deep thinker. So I try to think, what are the consequences of what I'm doing, than just doing it, but the consequence. So for me is okay, so I want a child, I want to show love, I want to spend money on the child, I can adopt a child. And what about if you adopt the child is disabled, or the child is from a bad home? What is guaranteed that you give birth to a child and the child is not disabled and is not having a different species from what you've picked up from the lab? So it's something someone needs to carefully think about it, and then go with what settles well with you, because what settles well with me might not be what settles well with you. So at the moment, I'm happy being 50 without a child. I'm not thinking of having a baby via IVF or by artificial insemination. I thought about the option of embryo freezing. I would go for it. It's something I'm actually doing at the moment, where I've gone to the hospital to say, look, I'd like to freeze my ovaries because I'm not getting any younger, in case I would like to have kids in the future. Something I'd like to do. So I thought about it with myself. I think it took me 2 years to think about it. I only started doing it this year. So I'm in the process of actually going to the doctor and find out what the process is, what are the pros and cons. So if that sits well with you, like, okay, I think I would like to have a safety net. Depends on your faith as well. Some people think that I have the faith to carry when I'm 50, I'll be like, Sarah, I'll do what I need to do. Good for you. And I haven't gotten that level of, let me say, faith in that department. Say, look, when I'm 50 at Sarah, but then it becomes an outcome, because I might go to the hospital and my doctor like, do you know what, you're not a candidate qualifying for ovarian freezing or egg freezing. And I might decide, you know what, I have to practice this faith now. So it just depends on the level where you are now. But there's an option of freezing your ovaries if you wanted to. And then again, it's up to you if it's something that you want to do or you don't want to do it. It's just really an individual choice.
Wow. So, I mean, so that means we have all those options in Nigeria, because for a long time,
yeah,
about it.
Oh yeah, we do. And actually, when I called it, I was like, are you sure NEPA will not take light and my eggs will be defrosted? And he burst out into laughter. I was like, do you know what? We don't use NEPA. We use NEPA means electrical company. So he said, no, we use something called a gas. I think it was a nitrogen gas or something. He mentioned there's a kind of gas they use. And when you come to the facilities, have a look around, you see how we store it. We can't really take you to the storage place, but we use some technology. You can have a look through the window, blah blah blah. And it's and then when I got to the clinic, actually, there are foreign people there. So you get people who are non-Nigerians, who live in Nigeria, who actually go to these hospitals and they've got good results. So yeah, we get hospitals who do very good work. Very good work. Yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
And it's slightly cheaper than the US and UK. So I checked, if I was to do it in the UK, it would have been £2,000. If I'd done it in America, it would have been $12,000. But in Nigeria, it was about 1.5, including treatment and everything else. And then I think storage every year was about 280 every year. Some facilities would take 600,000 every year. So it depends. But this guy who I'm seeing is about 280 every year. So it varies, but it's very, very available in Nigeria, very available in Nigeria, and also cheaper than if you were to go abroad to have it done.
That's good. So I know at the beginning you mentioned something like they even have foreign, they can even get.
Oh yeah. So during my curiosity visit, so I asked about this sperm that we were buying. Where do we get them from? So they have the local ones. So the local ones range from 70,000 to 168,000, and then they have the foreign ones. And the foreign ones, the beauty of the foreign ones is you can actually know your donor, and you can actually pick. So if your donor to be an American mixed with Spanish, or Black American or white American without mixing, blue eye, red eye, purple hair. You can actually pick what you want and then click and say, this is what I want, and then pay for it. And they fly the sperm into the country, and then they actually inseminate you with the sperm when you do an IVF. So it's very interesting, absolutely interesting process. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
A lot of interesting. Yeah, I'm really proud that we have all of those things.
Oh yeah, we do.
I'm really glad we do. So, all the while I've been picking up a few things from you, but I'd like for you to tell me exactly what are your principles, and with that also, can you tell me, has there been any situation in life that has really been challenging for you, and how do you cope with such challenges?
Okay.
Tell me your principles.
Oh, my principles are, like I said, first of all, I don't miss what I don't have. And secondly, I'm content. I think I'm a very content person. So I've learned to be content from an early age. And I was funny enough, I was discussing with a friend of mine, and she goes, for you, that's a gift. I've just learned how to be content. That I've always had a good job, and I always felt that I needed to get an iPhone, a Gucci bag, and I buy the original stuff because I felt I had to be at a particular level. So I was like, I never had to be pressured. I'm always content. And I think maybe because of his upbringing, I think my mom has always told us to be content. I grew up in a very wealthy home, and my dad wanted to shower with lots of love and gifts. My mom was quite, you're not there yet. When you get there, you get. So my mom was quite a good model in shaping us with contentment. So I would say I'm very, very content. I think that's really helped me with a lot of things. Being content is something, it sounds very, very, very light, but it has a very, very heavy weight. Because the other day, someone said, oh, you're using an Android phone. I was like, yeah, what's wrong with an Android phone? But someone at your caliber should be using an Android phone. I was like, who said that? Who sets the standard? And he was quite at back, because I don't think anyone has challenged him that way. I was like, who sets the standard, please? And if you look at the Android phones, like the Samsung, they're more expensive than the iPhone. They're about, you can get some at 500, 600. So I think most people have not gotten to that level where they're content. And I think once you get to a contentment level, some things don't move you. Mm-hmm. Some things you're just okay, and you're just, do you know what? We're riding on this thing with God, wherever God takes it. And I've also come to realize, I think my mom's death actually opened my eyes to a lot of things. I've come to realize that, because when my mom passed on, I had a very, I'll call it a dark phase. I felt God had abandoned me. I felt I didn't want to do Christianity anymore. I would just do my own thing. And then in doing my own thing, I found that certain things just started aligning for me. And then I paused back and I said, you know what? I think God has a plan for my life. I've always known that, but it didn't sink in. I was like, you know what? So I really don't have prayer points. I think my prayer points every day is, God, may your perfect and acceptable will be done in my life. I think that's the best prayer points I give to myself every day, because I feel that God has made me, he's brought me to this earth through my parents, and all the things I want to do for myself, I haven't really achieved it. It's just, things just come, like they say, call it like bass. The things just come bass, and I enjoy it when they come and I win through it. So I just said to myself, you know, God has a plan for my life. I'll sit back and I'll just ride on. So my goal today is, I don't know what God has plans for me today, but God might not miss a plan for today. Might work in that perfect will for my life, and I just move on. So I think that has helped me cope a lot. And I had my own phase of depression as well. And most people didn't know, because I'm always, someone says, you always post every day. Everybody thinks you're happy. I said, but I'm happy, but it doesn't mean that certain things are not right with me. It's not a perfect world. I'm not perfect, but I've come to the fact that even if I'm sad, I'm happy, I must do what I have to do. I will not allow most things dictate the things that have to happen in life. So yeah, so those are the two things I kind of hold on to daily, where I'm content. I've opened up to God and said, you know what, your perfect will, I don't really have a plan. Your perfect will be done, and then it just aligns. And I was reading with Sweet. I think with Sweet Wigglesworth, I was reading his history, his life history, and people were talking about the man of who he is. And somebody said he never read anything besides the Bible. He only read the Bible, and he broke communion every day. And so for me is, I think that sort of said to myself that people, everybody's talking, but you need to hear one voice. So I said to myself, the word of God has become a voice for me, with whatever I think is right. I might think and research and do everything else because knowledge is power, but I still go back to the word. I try not to be too churchy because I think people tend to run away from me, but everybody has what they believe. Even the atheist believes in something. I believe up in the principle of science. So I think no matter how dark you are, or no matter how spiritual you are, there's always something you hold on to. Even if you're a juju worshiper, there's always something that your juju will tell you to hold on to. So I always say that for me, the Bible is, sometimes I do have my doubts, don't get me wrong, but I still open the Bible and say, my mom used to say one thing, there's nowhere else I'm going to. I will still come back to this Bible at the end of the day. So I say to myself, no matter how angry I am, no matter how disappointed I am, I don't have anything else to push, to look up to. So it's still the same word of God. So I would open up to it and say, you know what, I'm angry, I've had my face and everything, but where else am I turning to? There's nowhere else that I see that's better than where I'm coming from. So I still go back to the word of God and have a look, console myself, and then move on. I just hope that things will be better. So these are my coping mechanisms.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. You seem to have shared also your experience and how you handle challenging situations.
Yes.
That's nice. You know, it's rare. And I'm happy that you mentioned that there are times you have your doubts. Yeah. You know, sometimes things happen and then we just like, God, but where are you? You know, but how can this happen? You know,
I must say something though. You also actually installed that thing in me because you passed funny enough, Pastor Moji passed me for a couple of years. And I would like when you come to the altar, you'll be like, do you know what? I wasn't feeling so well today, but I came to the altar and I knew that when I get here, I'll be stronger. And for me, the first day you said that thing, my mind was blown out. I was like, wow. So a pastor can actually come onto the pulpit and say such a thing. And for me, it made my faith stronger that, you know what, this faith life, you're working it together. You're not saying, I'm God, I'm where God is. But you're saying, I don't feel so great, but I would have stayed at home. But I thought I have a duty. And when I come here, I'll feel better. And for me, I felt like, oh, so there's really no pretense with this woman. She's real. So I think being under your tutelage for a while actually helped me as well, because I was like, no, Pastor Moji cannot be fake. This is just so real. And before the service closed, you're already smiling. You're not as dull as you came in. I'm like, so we just walked a miracle together, both of us. So I also got that from you, where you made Christianity very real. You didn't make it look like it was some kind of circus thing. So for me, I think you also impacted in some of my foundations that I have today. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. But there's really no pretense. I tell people, I find it difficult to understand when people feel like you can never have a problem, you can never have it. We all go through challenges, but it's how we handle those things that matter.
Very true.
How we handle those things that matter.
How we handle them that matter. I was reading something recently, and somebody talked about doubting Thomas. And no one has preached about Thomas in a good light. They've always said he doubted, but the person said, Thomas doubted God because he wanted to learn with a good heart, and then he got a result. And at the end of the day, Thomas was one of the best apostles that ever lived. And for me, that just was like, oh, everybody says Thomas is doubting, must have faith, don't be like Thomas. But he really wanted to know. And I think for me as a Christian, or me as a person, I put my doubts in with a genuine heart. Don't get me wrong. I want to know why certain things have happened. I question my mom's death, even as much as people like, and God gives it, you give all sort of things with scripture and stuff. But I still question. I say, God, let me know why she passed away. I really want to know. And some people say that, and you don't believe in God, blah, blah, blah. I said, I believe in God, but I think it's right to ask your father, your creator, certain questions. Sometimes doubts will come in. And I think with having that doubt per se, I was able to get some questions answered. And it's put me where I am, because if I didn't have those doubts, I probably would not be in the church anymore. I'll probably be trying to find another religion. I started finding the Islamic religion quite interesting. So so I feel that sometimes our doubts with a genuine heart, really want to learn, always puts you over. So I think Thomas's story should be told in a different light too, where his doubt was not from a bad place, but from a good place. He learned, and then obviously God said, people that have not seen me, when they believe, the way the scripture goes. And I feel that there should be a good light to that, to say Thomas doubted with a genuine heart, and he got the answers he wanted, and he became fantastic going forward. So I had the same story with Thomas as well. One a good light.
You know, it's interesting because I have, because my kids.
Yeah.
And I always I use their lives or their relationship with me. I mirror it. I try to look at the way my relationship is with God.
Yeah.
I have about two of them that I have one that doesn't really question anything.
Yeah.
She just do whatever I tell her to do. Sometimes she may look at you like, do I really want to do this? But she's just going to do it.
Yeah.
I have another one that just looks at you. He just looks at you. And then you see him doing the thing maybe some time later. But I have one that will ask you why.
Yeah.
When she asked me why, I'm taking her back, like, why are you asking me why? But she said, I just want to know. Okay. And but interestingly, I feel like she's genuinely asking me those questions. And when she asks those questions, I'm also asking myself, but why am I feeling like this about this? Why am I insisting on this way? You understand? And that makes our relationship better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're all different with God. Do you understand? That's why for me, I'm something that I always tell people is really Christianity is personal.
It is personal, very, very personal.
With God is very personal. It is very personal.
One might not be permissible for the other one. Yeah, so it's very, very personal.
So when you look at a man like David, with everything he probably did, took someone's wife, this one, that one. In fact, at the end of it, the man did all of those things in the era of his flesh.
Yeah.
He still knew, like, I'm not going away from you. You're the one I know. I may do all of it, but you're still holding on to him. And I think that's really important. Thank you for being your expressions of of your doubt. And for the growth in Christ, yes, because it helps you grow. Your relationship gets when you ask questions genuinely.
Yeah.
It helps you. You may not have the exact answer you expect, but it helps your relationship with anybody.
Oh yeah, very true. It gives a better understanding.
Unlike when you just do everything you are told to do. I mean, I don't understand that. I mean,
do that.
People like us will not find space in many places. Some people won't accept us because.
Yeah, very true. Do as you're told.
And that's why, I will say, like, the world is so big that everybody can
right.
choose where we want to go. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it's been really, really, really interesting chatting with you.
Yeah.
Of course, we're having the next one very soon. Because this weight loss journey and some of the things, I was watching one of your videos and some of the workouts you were doing. I'm like, how do you But we'll talk more about that, how we build our stamina and how we on weight loss.
Okay.
And our weight loss journey. Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Thank you so much once again.
Thanks for having me.
So what would you like to leave it with us in parting?
In parting, I would say always define your level of satisfaction. It does help you. So when you get turned back or you get told no, you know how to fight. What I mean is, for example, I said to myself personally, I'm not doing any more education. My master's is fine for me. Somebody said do a PhD, do a program with this and that. And I said, if I go and apply for a job or I want to get something and I'm told I can't get it because I haven't done this and that, I won't be upset because I've said to myself, I've defined, I'm not doing any more studies. This is what I'm going to do to the extent. So when somebody says to me, we can't give you a job because of this, that. And I'm not broken. I'm just saying, is that what it is? I'm not going to go out of my way to do that because of this job. Maybe something else I want to achieve in life, I might want to do it. So what I'm trying to say is define your level of satisfaction. It would help you win your fights and you help you know what fights to fight and what not to fight. And it also helps you in life. So when someone thinks they can laugh at you with something and you're like, laugh at me with this, I already know what I want. So I already know what I want in life. So we're not on the same thing. You don't know what my level is. So I would say try and start to define your level of satisfaction. It helps a lot with everything you do.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking out this your time to have this
Thank
conversation with me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, everyone. I'm sure you have found this very interesting. It's a rare topic. And I'm glad Michelle had been very open. And yes, to my next guest. Bye for now.